How often do you pray? This is a question that I've been forced to ask myself after my reading through the first chapter of Mark this morning. You know, sometimes it just feels like we're so busy. I definitely have felt pretty busy these last 2 weeks as your intern at the Olympia Church of Christ. It's been a blessing nevertheless. But maybe you can identify to some degree. You know, we get up, we go to work, we spend all day at work, and then we come home and we're exhausted. We're just so busy. But do we spend time in prayer? Do we spend time with God? Do we focus on things that are heavenly? I'd like to point your attention to a specific day in Jesus' life. Well, 2 particular days, and this is toward the beginning of his ministry. This one day he went to the synagogue and he was teaching all day, and he casted out demons in order to prove that he was the master teacher, and he he healed Peter's mother-in-law from her illness. And then Mark chapter 1 in verse 32, it reads, "When evening came, after the sun had set, they began bringing to him all who were ill and those who were demon-possessed. And the whole city had gathered at the door. And he healed many who were ill with various diseases, and casted out many demons. And he was not permitting the demons to speak, because they knew who he was." So Jesus has had a long day of ministry, and even though the sun has set, his day still isn't over. We can feel that same way sometimes. We're just so busy, and maybe we're busy with good things. But let's look at what Jesus does next. Verse 35, "In the early morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went away to a secluded place, and was praying there." Early in the morning, while it's still dark, after a long night of ministry, we could say that Jesus quite literally sacrificed sleep in order to pray. I'm convicted of this. I don't prioritize prayer like Jesus did. I prayed this morning, but I didn't sacrifice sleep for it. I spent a good couple minutes in prayer is all, and got dressed and went about on my day. Maybe you did the same, but maybe our lives would be better if we intentionally spent more time in prayer, especially in the morning like Jesus did. So maybe something that would be good for us is scheduling a time in the morning, maybe 6 a.m. to 6:15, 6 a.m. to 6:30. Spend that time in prayer. You'll have your mind focused on that which is above, that which is good and holy. For how else can we get through this life without God? This week, let's be people of prayer.